と見つかるさ。もしか君今すぐに連れて行けなくても涙を流すことはない。僕は未来を作り出してる過去へと深い遡る。そしてピートと連れ立って君を迎えに戻るだろう。だからリキティキティビその日までおやすみ。諦めてしまうにはまだ早すぎる。扉の鍵を見つけよう。もしか君今ここでやり直せなくても寂しく生きることはない。僕は過去から幸せを持ち未来へ向かい眠るのさ。そしてピートと永遠の夏への扉開け放とう。だからリキティキティビその日までおやすみ。おやすみ。その日までおやすみ。
That was Natsue no Tobira, The Door into Summer by Tatsuro Yamashita off of Right on Time. I live in Virginia, and it was already 80 degrees the other day, and maybe y'all are having spring somewhere where you're living, but in Virginia, you know, you get 2 weeks of spring, and then it's summer, so I figured apropos song to play as we mosey on into this here Strive bracket this evening. I don't have too much more to say, so get everything ready, and let's rock.
Get up to rock, get up to burn, stand with the pride, ever feel your desire.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming through this evening. We got a nice little WeebCup. Oh no, just missed. Well, one of our regulars, a top seed, defeated by lack of sleep. In the meantime, though, we are gonna have C-Drive versus HoboNinja pop up on the stream in a moment. If HoboNinja will... See, I ping... Did I ping HoboNinja? I pinged HoboNinja. HoboNinja, where you at? Alright, we'll be waiting on HoboNinja to come through in just a moment here. I've sent him another ping to see if he can come through. Facing down C-Drive, a lovely competitor, a constant in a WeebCup. I gotta say, every single time I see C-Drive step up to the podium, I'm always only slightly disappointed, because in the back of my mind, I want to see Bedman. I know it's not gonna happen. Goldloose is very strong. Goldloose is who C-Drive is comfortable with. But you know, there was a Bedman in their repertoire for a while, so... Here. Other than that, we got a nice little group of gamers coming through. The regulars, Emo Scooby-Doo, Stinky Steve, and a couple faces we haven't seen in a while. HoboNinja, who should be coming through, Infatigo, the May avatar with the Millia swamp. So we'll see if it's Millia or May coming up to the square circle. And Shadow Gecko, who I ended up playing yesterday in TNS. Good scrap there. I made sure to let them know that I had a whole ton of Bridget experience over the weekend, so that's why I ended up winning it. My training partner, Billy, amazing Billy, wanted to play 2 or 3 days out of the weekend. I got plenty of Bridget matchup experience. I'm not here to talk about me, I'm here to talk about matches. Oh no, tax returns? Okay, HoboNinja is clearing up the tax returns. It's the... Listen, Teddy talked about having the matchup against the Sleep, and that's like a 9-1 matchup. The tax matchup is a 10-0. One moment, please. Okay, we finally have 2 gamers ready to fight. Such a good baseline. God, the drop was so perfect. Perfectly timed. If you don't have this mod to skip the intro music, skip straight into it, you gotta get it. Good spacing for HoboNinja right off the bat. We'll see Drive. Not looking to spend burst just yet. Just looking to check their way out with that 2P. HoboNinja giving the guard to Oki. Sent flying back by the BT. What a scoop! Drive. Playing pretty good defense. The dangers of being 2+ there. Whipped. Tempting Buster. And then she takes advantage of the situation to start their offense back up. Oh, clipped low. This is gonna be enough. Drive. Not quite one on the board. Almost there. Ooh, right off the you maniac. Ooh. Don't tell me it's 3. No, it just goes for the dust. What spacing? C-Drive has no intention of getting Tempting Bustered again. It's a little punish on that there Hammerfall. Remember, Hammerfall is minus 18 now. So you can get a really big punish on it if you know what you're doing. But C-Drive's turn to take the pressure, and this surely with the meter will be enough. C-Drive, up 1. Or a buster on round start. No. Don't need that yet. Kara Buster on round start is definitely a threat. It'll check your 5 frame buttons. HoboNinja straight back into it. And saying, well, I guess I'll leave that for later. Like I said, it's not about myself right now. It's about these two gamers right here. What's HoboNinja got their sleeve to come back? Good spacing, nice. Pressure going into the Dorita impact. Now they have the corner. Good check. Don't want to get pot buster. You see the startup there as P-Drive threw out a 2P. This is what Gold Lewis does. Just pushes you back and back. You've gone from West Coast to East Coast here. What a use of armor! HoboNinja starting to turn things around. P-Drive was ready. We're in a chip situation here. Doesn't even need it, just a whip punish. I can't believe that. I thought for sure HoboNinja would go under that 6K. Good check with a 5P. A reversal. Big damage. Looking about even. HoboNinja has some resource advantages to work with. Uses them well. Deflect into the RC. C-Drive. Oh, nice. Shooting down the minigun startup. HoboNinja with the last of their life. What is it, dire? You know, I respect it. I've never seen that interaction before, and I really thought that HoboNinja could make it turn around with that interaction, but no. Just too many bullets from the minigun. I was talking earlier about how hot it gets during the Virginia spring-summer transition. I am sweating bullets over here. Not just because of the match. I'm taking a sippy of water right now, don't mind me. We're moving into the third match right now. HoboNinja stepping back up to the podium. No character swap. I don't believe, despite appearances, they have a Slayer to work with. Let's rock. Playing cautious. Nice use of armor. C-Drive recognizing the danger. Backdashes. Great use of armor to just power through these BTs. There is chip on the table, but you know, getting the advantage from the hit is... Ooh. I wonder if that was an intention to armor through the drone. HoboNinja. Potbuster, their side, ever trusty companion. Had a good pressure situation, but C-Drive managing to use these plus range to massive advantage. Big counter hit. Caught with the hammer fall. Very nice. HoboNinja. Throw whiff. C-Drive on set point. Ooh, big JH. Didn't quite expect the immediate double jump from HoboNinja. Interesting timing there. You gotta vary up your timing on offense. HoboNinja is doing a great job of that. 5H. Ooh. Goes for the reset. Manages to get a counter hit through the wall. HoboNinja. Our heart's beating. We're hearing it. right now. Have to see how hot the blood runs. Look at these little checks. HoboNinja using these mid-range tools Potemkin has quite well. Punishing these jump attempts from C-Drive. It has the meter. I believe this will kill. All right, HoboNinja staying alive with a perfect. One on the board. Let me take a second to catch our breaths. I'm gonna poke my head on over to the challenge page and see what we've got. HeadChef 3-1 over Infatigo. Shadow Gecko 3-1 over Emo Scooby-Doo. We'll be seeing who Shadow Gecko will be playing in this next match. I don't know what's going on out there, don't mind it. If you hear thumping, don't mind it. Probably difficult to hear up the sounds of the brutal counter hits happening on screen right now. These big downtown behemoth typhoons. HoboNinja struggling to find the way out of this maze of BTs. I respect it. E-Drive answering that last perfect with one of their own on set point again. HoboNinja, I like the speed of what's happening. Buried right now. Typically when I use Wild Assault, I like to vary up the speed of the follow-ups afterwards. HoboNinja, I would like them trying to do the same thing with what they were doing. Now C-Drive just making use of all of their resources to get BT after BT. HoboNinja down to a minuscule amount of life, using armor, not quite able to make it work out though. C-Drive, 3-1. Take this set, moves on to fight Shadow Gecko in round 2. Alrighty. Get me out of here. I think there's some painting going on. That might be it. All right, we got our next round. All good to go. Which gamer is that entering the room? All right, that is Shadow Gecko. They will be waiting in the wings, taking the spot you can't quite see. Let me see if I can clear things up just a little bit. There we go. Hanging out with the Faust plushie. First thing first, though. Stinky Steve, HeadChef. All right, there's one gamer. We got one. Ooh, Venom? Maybe Stinky Steve has to swap their character. No, maybe they were... I was thinking to myself that they just... No, they were a buy. That's right. Last time they came in here, we had a Venom mirror in a match where, in a tournament where Venom was not allowed. It was really funny. Yeah, Steve hasn't entered a player room for the last 2 weeks. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with going to the park. Oh, I see. HeadChef has to reboot their PC. It'll be a moment. In the meantime, I can go back to what I was thinking about talking about. So, I decided that since I got my stick around the end of 2018 or so, that I would upgrade, I would change some parts out, and rather than just changing the spring, I got a whole new joystick. I got the JLX in my arcade stick now, replacing the JLF. It feels nice, but replacing it inexplicably killed all the tension in my spring, so I had to dig out a new, I guess I say new, an old 3-pounder to put back in the stick, and it's feeling nice ever since. Nice firm movements. I have a fatter actuator in there. The JLX is nice if you don't know about, like, stick terms. Because I love the tech side of stuff. The old JLF that I used had the micro switches mounted on pegs, and so they were prone to wiggle just a little bit, so that could create a potential situation where there's just another split second of time where the actuator won't touch the switches. The switches could wiggle against the push of the actuator. But the micro switches are on a single mount with the JLX. It holds them in place better. Additionally, the pegs that you mount the restrictor gate on are slightly longer, and that's real nice. The JLF that I had, being shorter, it did not quite hold the restrictor gate on the way I wanted to, so it was prone to falling out of the bottom if I gave the stick a thump or set it down a little too hard. So the JLX is just dandy. Everything seems really nice about it up front. I've only had it for, when did I get it? Like, just before noon today. It's been just over 8 hours, maybe 8.5, 8 and 45 minutes, 8 and some change. So yeah, if you got an old stick, if you got an old piece of hardware, there's nothing wrong with upgrading it to keep it fresh. I guess that's one of the things proper arcade sticks have over the likes of a leverless device. You've got a little more wiggle room to customize things, and there's nothing I love more than customizing an arcade stick. Let me see if we got any news updates from the front. Okay, HeadChef is coming in any moment now. Guilty Gear Strive with its boot up the online section of the game. I appreciate your patience throughout all this. I appreciate y'all coming through. Appreciate everybody who didn't get bodied by their sleep schedule. And you know what? I appreciate anybody who did get bodied by their sleep schedule. It can be rough sometimes. HeadChef is under the building. HeadChef, a Bedman player. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. True. Match will be starting any second now. Alrighty.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society, so instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts.
I love Stinky Steve putting together the randomized unsorted playlist for their music. Really pressure from Steve. Good check with the JS. Such a multifaceted move. Bedman, kind of odd air moves. Has to have a lot of power concentrated in that JS. With 6P. And Chef is playing the game. Doesn't quite manage to land cross-up, though. Stinky Steve. Looks like they were going for a co-loop of sorts. HeadChef playing wary with the parry super. Very staggered offense. Stinky Steve inserts himself inside the blind spot of the bomb head. We've got strike throw pressure. Manages to make things work. Yeah, in Fatigo, I saw the things about, there's been a lot of talk about various things with guest characters, and wanting a nonsense title, I remembered the N64 Clayfighter abomination of a game that had some real wild guest characters that nobody actually likes. Wonder what the appeal of putting Earthworm Jim and Boogerman in were. I've been yapping this whole time. Stinky Steve's got a nice little wall break on HeadChef, who has 50 meter of their own to work with. Stinky Steve is rapidly gaining resource advantage and will secure another wall break. Quite enough to kill. Remember, Bedman got that health buff. Just a quick double overhead. Early dub from Stinky Steve, up 1. C-Drive and Shadow Gecko hovering over the station like vultures waiting for their match to get ready. They want to play the game. Ooh, the unsorted playlist pays off. HeadChef zoning. Steve is spinning. Quick check from HeadChef. Get out of the corner. Not out yet, but he needs to find the cross-up that didn't quite happen last time. Good backdash. Green only has 2 active frames, remember, so it can be backdashed when spaced properly. HeadChef also making great use of the weakness of Fujin, its poor air hitbox, anti-air hitbox, by using a lot of jumping. Little drop there allows Steve to vibe check with the 2P. Big overhead. That would have been safe because of the... Yeah, you see the follow-up there. But gets the round. Steve gets the overhead. That safe jump setup, remember, Anji got access to a whole bunch of them with that hard knockdown on Green. Follows up with Fujin into a wall break. The scoop with the JK feint. A little perfect after Bedman. HeadChef tried to wiggle out of Shitsu pressure. Ooh, the fish. Oh, HeadChef caught trying to hit a button on Wake Up. Like the delayed air movement. Stinky Steve, using the Roman kicks to great effect, finds an anti-air co. HeadChef escapes the shimmy trap with a YRC, then a burst. Well, Steve bursts it. Steve bursts to keep the corner. Sending that RC to retain pressure after the blocked rain. A little bit short. We see a back throw incident. Now it's HeadChef's turn to put Steve in the corner. Just gets swept. Steve up 2. Chef's got a heck of a hill to climb now. Wonder what kind of solution HeadChef will try to come up with for this dilemma. Maybe finding a bit more spacing. Good use of air hang there. Anji really thrives on opponents who want to get predictable with their air movement. Fujin doesn't work, but Ko sure does. This is a great spacing that HeadChef has found. And once they move in a little closer, Ko becomes very spooky, and JH can go underneath of the likes of a 6P. Oh, back throw incident after the pressure dropped. Nice, nice. Good tech on that hop there. Hop can be difficult to continue pressure with. HeadChef is playing quite aware. It's the malfunction setup. But Steve manages to stop it. It's just a little far slash to snipe out of the air. It's 6P. But the trick from dealing with Bedman when they're in the air is to find the proper spacing to 6P. He does a really good job of using those quick cancels when Nagiha is on the table. They manage to get with normals to build a little extra meter. The co-loops too. Closes out with a JD. That point. Chef takes early lead. Manages to shoot down the jump attempt with their own jump in. Preemptively. Setting up an anti-air. This little JP, it's an odd button in Anji's arsenal. Not quite a jump in, not quite an air to air. You know, Steve had to do it at some point, why not do it now? First to get out of the cross-up situation. HeadChef with the meter advantage. Manages to make it work for them. Put one on the board. Outside of just burst or Roman cancels, you know, 50 tension, there's also this idea of, you know, material advantage. The idea comes from the chess term, but something like a BT cancel or security gauge or a stocked error from Bedman would be a good example of material advantage in this context. To use Butterfly at range like that seems a spooky proposition. Bedman can easily zone back. Steve? Not quite at the spacing where Ko will benefit them. Good frame trap with that 2S. Didn't quite manage to find the pickup with the 5K. Chef with big resource advantage now. Stock errors, 2 sticks of butter of tension. With JD overhead, it's very difficult to fuzzy against JD mix-ups. Alright, HeadChef. Starting to turn things around. We may see comeback yet. Little JP, I really like the use of that move from Steve. You don't see it a whole lot. Making good use of it to check Bedman on the ground and in the air. Manages to swoosh right under the 3-point shot. That's very staggered pressure. It leaves a gap. Just attack the tick throw. Steve is playing pretty aware. No punish on the Midare. Steve is probably feeling pretty comfy, but HeadChef managing to barrel their way in now. Force their way in with that stock error. I think this is going to be, no, not quite a killing combo, but has the pressure to do so, and does. Capitalizes with the 5D overhead. Making great use of the visual noise that Bedman produces to create a very disorienting situation. 2-2, we're nice and even now. I guess let's touch on the idea of visual noise now. It's not just the likes of the fireball that Bedman creates with the error, Delilah moving around, lots of things. Even someone like Chip or Milia can create visual noise with their mix-ups and movement. A little less flashy. There we go, we see the first attempt, HeadChef, to jump out of the fan toss pressure. Remember, there is a gap that you can use to escape. You can try to jump up, air-to-air Anji, or even just leave. This is a tricky situation for Anji to be in. Fortunately, manages to air dash out, gets the 6P. You know, HeadChef saw it. Still looking out for a counter super. There's nothing Steve loves more than to use counter supers. There it is, I mentioned earlier, it's very difficult to deal with that overhead, the JD. This run-up throw, sometimes you just gotta hold forward with this character. Quick little high-low puts HeadChef on set point. Steve has slight resource advantage. Oh, that's what we like to see! Just spins through White Wild Assault. Imagine being upset about White Wild Assault when you can just step aside from it. He gets a great confirm, manages to secure positive bonus with that wall break. Cashes out. No need to fuss around with the last hit of Fujin there. HeadChef with just a sliver of life left. Steve working on a perfect. Gets it. Double Luigi situation. He's just to go under. This is a great little match we got on Hold It. Gold Burst. Steve goes in, manages to get the confirm off the JS. HeadChef wants out. Little drop from Ko, but manages to get a nice follow-up, an American reset of sorts. Cashed out for the positive. Big resource advantage. There's a gap there. HeadChef tried to backdash. Caught by the frame trap. Steve get 3 Ws. That was a terrific set. We've got C-Drive talking tech in the Discord over there, but their match is coming up real soon. In fact, it's coming up now. Here we go. Never put Shadow Gecko's name into the scoreboard before, so I gotta make sure everything looks kosher. Alright, it's time. Yuri team captain, you love to see that. Hang on a second. Have the... That's the name I saw the other night, so I wasn't quite sure what the proper username up front was. We got another classic match here. Big body versus the small, pick the rushdown character. We've seen this happen quite a few times when Bean Bagels played in this bracket. We saw C-Drive play against them plenty. Shadow Gecko making a nice start for their first green match. What spacing? That's the power of Bridget. These big, disjointed, long-range normals like 5H and Far Slash. And granted, they're not hugely disjointed, but they do have a little disjoint on them. A perfect Shadow Gecko. Leading up early. Big little 5P to vibe check. Lewis's movement. C-Drive with a big BT from downtown. They're fighting back with a 5H of their own. Good overhead. C-Drive is getting mixed. Clipped by that overhead. Sets down the drone. Hold down the neutral. The JS. There we go. This is where C-Drive is going to clean up. Big damage. Shadow Gecko not taking the mix. Only C-Drive can get mixed in these parts. Cutting offense short, you love to see it. Finding a great spacing to anti-air. The close slash confirm. I have no idea if that's a safe jump, but I'm guessing it is. Shadow Gecko has positive, but this is a scary situation. C-Drive has a bunch of resources to work with. Not just meter, but like I said earlier, the idea of material advantage, the security gauge. It's clipped the behind the back? The no-look? The no-look back shot, dare I call it? I got to try it. Shadow Gecko makes it look nice and clean. You heard what I said. We're moving into match 2 right away. Quick burst. Nobody wants a big fellow with a coffin on them. At that range, that trade worked out very poorly for Shadow Gecko. C-Drive got a whole chunk of damage. That's got to be like 20% just in that one interaction. Good jump to go over the far slash. Quick 2K into BT to turn things around, but a little drop allows Shadow Gecko to wiggle out. Ooh, another behind the back with the cross up. Okay, no more joking. Drop the hammer. Like, what kind of soda are we talking about? What flavor would that be, Steve? I gotta know what you're thinking. I gotta pick your brain a little bit. D-Drive with 15 meter. Could we get spooky? Little trade stops the chain gun from happening, but the JD, the most nefarious of buttons. C-Drive around. Ranch flavored soda, insane. Ooh, DP out. Shadow Gecko making great use of Blue Wild Assault and that 2S. 2S very active, very difficult to backdash out of. Using the threat of these yo-yos to set up all kinds of offense. A wall break. Baby rocked. Okay, I gotta... As an aside, do you know what happened in the very first match I played against Shadow Gecko the other day? Round start, rock the baby, and you know what? It worked. Remember, the slow scoot can be plus, depending on the spacing. It shoots? Shoot the moon? Goes over the drone? What's even worse, I asked why they did it. It said, you know, if I'm up against an Anji, I gotta do it on principle. And I said, you know what, fair. Big 2H anti-airs. Shadow Gecko's been really on point with these. Doesn't quite get the confirm on that combo. Little drop, but manages to make it work. Shadow Gecko up 2, and this is a great situation to be in for Shadow Gecko because you need some rounds to fall back on. You might even need a whole match to fall back on once you're up against Gold Lewis, you know? If things go wrong against the big man, you know it's gonna be big problems. Oh, the yo-yo, that's the Bridget special. Big 2S. You know what? True. Emo Scooby-Doo spitting facts in the chat there. Shadow Gecko. Getting the dust. Choosing not to spend the meter. I respect it. Yeah, there you go. Catch Gold Lewis right after the wall break. Finding a great spacing to counter poke these VTs with. Shadow Gecko on that point. The run-up throw? I'm kind of flabbergasted. There's, you know, playing aggressive, and then there's making a statement. If you run up to Gold Lewis and throw, you know, you got a point to prove that you're not scared at all. And Shadow Gecko, I think, is working on a perfect. Perfect won't happen because of the chain gun, but they're in a great situation with the yo-yo setup. Again, the 2H has been really on point with those. Doesn't manage to hit clean. That's a great block going. Keeps things safe after that 6H with the meter and cleans up. Shadow Gecko looking fantastic this set. Alright, for now that we finished round 2 winners, we're going to move over to the losers side of the bracket. So, Emo Scooby-Doo versus HoboNinja. Scooby-Doo and HoboNinja. Emo Scooby-Doo is in the room. They play an Eno, and Eno, a little spooky to play into Big Grapple Man Temkin. Decided to celebrate outside the confines. Hey, that's expensive. Decided to celebrate outside the confines of this room. Shadow Gecko simply vanishes into the ether. We're moving on to HoboNinja versus Emo Scooby-Doo now.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
Ooh, with the Missing Link Potemkin theme? We'd love to hear it. I talk a lot about the nice production in Exard and Strive's music is maybe a little too clean for metal, but this song, the Enslaved's Glory from Missing Link, has that really kind of grody garage band sound that really fits with metal for me. Love to hear it. Get back to the match though. Emo Scooby-Doo playing the zoning game a little bit here. It's paying dividends. HoboNinja 2S could have been real spooky, and they have the meter to... Oh, it just goes over the shield. And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Emo Scooby-Doo just hangs back, doesn't want to accidentally bump into the shield. I can still hear it. Gone now. Cleans up that round with careful movement. HoboNinja using big normals, as Potemkin is wont to do. Flicks the Chemical Love, finds the big 6H. Clean little 65% life there. You love to see it. HoboNinja taking what could, you know, be called an early lead if you want to downplay it. Next, the Mad Love Agitato. And is ready for any attempts to get over the mirror, this time with the Heat Tackle. Good 6P. That's right, Emo Scooby-Doo was on Will It Kill. We got a star in our midst. Little lead, backdashes out of Potemkin Buster's reach. I really like the air movement that Emo Scooby-Doo is using to just go over the slide head shockwave. It's really paying dividends. I think it was for, I don't remember when it was, but I spoke with Emo Scooby-Doo a little bit about the power of Eno's ability to mix between rushdown and zoning. I believe it was Friday of last week, and I'm seeing some of what's been talked about coming into play. Use of the Chemical Love to go over the slide head. Emo Scooby-Doo is getting really creative. Doesn't quite manage to get the command grab to work though. Unfortunately, HoboNinja takes big advantage of that. I know I'm supposed to be an impartial commentator, but man, my heart is breaking right now for Emo Scooby-Doo after that. After doing all this slick stuff, you know... Hang on, y'all switch sides on me. Using me. Good morning, welcome! Thanks for coming through.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
Someone not too far from my area popped into stream last night to watch my TNS run. Appreciated their company, appreciate your company now. Sometimes you aw dang it and move on. HoboNinja burst, doesn't want to get wall broken. Ooh, big 5H, probably scouting for an anti-slide head movement. Air throw. The big bonk. Definitely, that could have killed. Got scaled though, so that prevented it. That had been a raw pot buster. We'd be moving on to round 2. Ooh, that was tricky! Just uses the slide head to beat the... Excuse me, the Roman cancel and hammer fall to beat the stroke. HoboNinja, now using a lot more 5P. If there's one thing we know about HoboNinja, it's that they are very good at using 5Ps. Lots of 5Ps for all kinds of situations, checking jumps, checking movement. Even these little hits. Ooh! Hold that thought. It's a tough life being an Eno player, you know? Wait a second. What? Drive moment. I thought we were gonna see a Potemkin mirror for Japes reasons. I was gonna say all these little hits from Eno will add up over time, but all Potemkin needs is just one big hit to make it all even out, and we didn't just see that right now. You know, what did we just see? HoboNinja. Could be on set point any moment now. Scooby-Doo getting a quick mix. Those for the, wall slump resets. He manages to stroke under the flick. Very nice. It really feels like both these characters have answers to everybody's own stuff, you know? In ways that make the RPS really interesting. I haven't seen too much of this match, but now that I'm getting a chance to peek at it a little more, it's very interesting. It's overhead into the 6H. Quick overhead. You know, Scooby-Doo, looking to turn things around now. Good check on the Mega Fist, the JP. Collect those plus frames. HoboNinja spends burst. Goes under the projectile. That was slick. You take my projectile, use it against me? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Things could turn around in an instant here. Ooh. The cross over the Mega Fist. You don't see that very often. That's the meter to make things turn around. One drop! Oh my gosh. That drop was key. Emo Scooby-Doo, staying alive. Oh yeah, Potemkin, whenever this man gets a counter hit on you, you get sent around the whole planet in an instant, and you astrally project to the other side of the planet and come back in an instant, you know? It knocks the soul out of your body. But we are gaming. Scooby-Doo has a lot of ground to cover against the big man. Okay. The ninja making good use of Flex Shield to try and make space. And Eno's weakness is that you gotta interact with her offense at some point. It's difficult to get a handle on everything, but... They just avoid the scoop again! The only one doing command grabs around here is me. Burst. Ooh. Oh, the dangers of being 2+. Potemkin Buster whiffs. You know Scooby-Doo in a good situation. HoboNinja with less health. This is scary. Ooh. This gonna kill? Yeah, it will, definitely. I always forget how much damage Heat Knuckle does. Oh my gosh, the big counter hit on the Mega Fist. Garu, the little bounce. Armors through. Chemical Love. Oh! Okay. Doesn't get the biggest. reward off that counter hit 6H. That could have been very deadly. Emo Scooby-Doo favoring this chance to come back now. I'm not quite sure what happened there, if that was intentional or an accident. HoboNinja has way more resources to work with. Emo Scooby-Doo down, around, but is working with positive. Finding the spacing. No! The counter hit from HoboNinja. 3-1. We'll be moving on to round 2.
Champion wins.
HoboNinja will be moving on to fight HeadChef in streamed match we will show after this next one. C Drive versus Infatigo. I will ping both those gamers now. Our losers round 2 match. Dang, y'all didn't wait a second, did ya? Ah, we got a follow. Thanks for following, Shadow Gecko. My hideous follow alert. Inside joke for only a handful of people.
So instead of reflecting on themselves,
Katiga with the Milia. Now this is another very spooky match to be in. There are exactly like 4 people on Twitch who would know what that is. Oh no! Air to airs the disc, calls out the burst, just blocks it. Unfortunately gets sent flying a little too far. Infatigo goes over the attempt to pick up the wall bounce, making things a little more even now. D-Drive with the BT pressure, sending Meter to turn that into a big confirm. I don't even know if the YouTube video that follow alert, I don't even know if it is still on YouTube at all. You know, just a casual little 60%, 65%. Just one more touch, 2 more touches. The dangers of playing a low health character in Guilty Gear Strive. You saw it here. Distracted by the sound of a dog downstairs. Don't mind me. Really has great air moves. May look to play around those. Using it to evade the Gold Lewis attacks quite nicely. Click by the 2P. Big chunk of chip and risk. Oh my gosh, this is so scary. Doesn't quite get the pickup. Drops down right in front of C-Drive, who blocks the overhead. C-Drive picking up another round nice and quick. Ooh. Yeah, I'd spend burst too. Oh no. It's almost over already. Infatigo has no resources to work with outside of FD. Risk is getting cranked. Just bludgeoned to death. You know, if you get in the corner against Gold Lewis, your chances of winning drastically go down. I'm not about to do any Scott Steiner math, but you can probably figure it out on your own. We move in now. Infatigo. Real head scratcher. Maybe we'll want to use Milia's speed as a whiff punish. Doesn't necessarily need to run in and get hidden. Maybe just use the speed to reposition, find a good spot to counter poke from. Goes over with the Capel. Catches with the overhead. He drives awake last time. Leap at the wheel this time. It's not like you can react to it, though. Don't feel too bad. Manages to fish with Artemis. With the disc set up. C-drive. Walking forward, clearly expecting a cross-up. Taigo. Eyes open. Flipped out of the air. Little 50% on the board. Health continuing to drain. Level 1 churn here. Level 2 might have given Taigo time to slip off the wall. Manages to use Artemis to bait the throw. It's all about movement with this Milia character. Out of range of Artemis. Manages to fish with the overhead. No meter. You get a big wall break. C-drive just fishes with a little 2K. On set point, Infantaigo has burst to work with. Just goes over the BT. Again, the 4-2-6, that crescent-shaped motion close to the ground can be gone over. One of the curiosities of this character. Managed to catch a reversal attempt. A mash of sorts. Ooh! See a cross-up. No great reward off of it, but now we're seeing some movement from Infantaigo. Good movement. Not good enough to get out of the range. You know, at some point you gotta spend your reversal. Manages to catch with the winger. Okay, I respect the vision. The run of throw? You know, send the message against Gold Lewis, like I said. So spooky. You know, the S version of disc is minus. You gotta be brave when you use it. Fortunately, just not in the right position. We'll see Infantaigo eliminated. C-drive moving on with the clean sweep. C-drive moves on. Infantaigo heads home. We appreciate you coming through. HeadChef moves in. HoboNinja waiting in the wings. You can see lovely cozy little room I got here. Ping both these gamers. Ping both these gamers. Take a second to kick the soccer ball. You know, you can't just sit around playing video games all day. At some point, you gotta stand up. Pick up a football. This knows I've been sedentary enough the past couple weeks. Nice walk in what little spring weather Virginia has would do me nice. Not paying attention to the, Oh, excuse me. I didn't ping them. That's my fault. Sorry about that. Alright, but they seem to have gotten the message. Appreciate you picking up my slack, fellas. Moving in, another big body match. What is this, like the third big body versus big body we've seen?
That they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blame the beasts. Heaven or hell!
It's always fun to let the intros play out. That's Let's rock. No, I don't count on she's a big body, but you know, some people do. Jeff getting the early corner pressure, finding a nice spacing. HoboNinja playing aware of the follow-ups. HoboNinja, Potemkin rather, in a way a bit like Anji with this matchup. If you're playing aware of the follow-ups there, then you can turn them around to your advantage. Anji can spin, Potemkin can flick. No, no fat shaming. Did I accidentally fat shame? I just said big fella, didn't I? Ooh. Ooh, manages to 6H under the 5P. Good use of meter to take advantage of the hammer fall in. Quick little dust to close things out. HoboNinja. Looking nice. Good flick. Ooh. Listen, I know Kara Armor Potbuster is quite controversial as of late. That was pretty sick. Oh, are you talking about Anji? Not like some people say he's a big body. I know, stuck to is it Adventure. Listen, it's only active on frame 5, so you can... Oh, so beats aren't mat. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. It's pretty cool, though. That one interaction was pretty cool. HoboNinja very aware of these projectiles. Jeff playing around range quite well, though. Finding great spacing. You just use the 2H to beat the armor. Very nice. Simply have 4 rift framers. You're so right. Uses the install to get the nice big follow-up. Doesn't go away. You get hit. Ooh, the scoop from downtown. Yeah, you know what, Shadow Gecko? You are spitting. Arxis, give Anji his old 5P. A 4-frame +3 button with level 4 attack. Level 3 attack, excuse me. Doesn't quite get an... No, it does get an air-to-air there to beat the Mega Fist. Deflect shield. No help against the relentless pressure from the projectiles and movement from Bedman. Gets crossed up though. HoboNinja. Back behind the back. See, Steve knows what's good. He's agreeing with me. Good 5P check. 5P check at round start is a little spooky now. Dealing against Potemkin because he can Kara Buster. Gotta be careful with that. We'll have to see if HoboNinja capitalizes on that later. But right now, it's all HeadChef until blocks the overhead and gets the 5P. HoboNinja is gaming. Wild Assault. Potemkin doesn't have it anymore. Deadman does, making it work. There's the overhead. That double overhead is very tricky to deal with. Very tricky to fuzzy. Managed to backdash the scoop. HoboNinja spending burst. Has to stay alive. Down around. Quite able to capitalize on that Garuda. Okay, that's the big hit HoboNinja needs. Big dust. Defending that deflect though, HoboNinja. Down on resources, HeadChef spends theirs immediately, so it's not so bad. Punish on the heat tackle. Sees HeadChef getting all the corner carry they need. Oh no! HoboNinja paying attention to these projectiles. No, this is definitely not gonna kill. You know... you know, it is what it is. HoboNinja 2. Give Potemkin radiation poisoning? Chat, this is the least hinged I've ever seen, chat. HoboNinja getting clipped by the big JS. I wonder exactly what HeadChef's best option to deal with Slidehead is. Used to be Bedman could use 5k to go over the Slidehead Shockwave. Not in this game, though. Fate. The attempt to wriggle free. HoboNinja gets a nice Potemkin Buster for their troubles and is on set point. Chef mashing their way out. It's the follow-up, the fire ring from the Task B follow-up. Again, the Task B error follow-up, paying dividends for HeadChef. Just playing patient, let HoboNinja throw out the flicks and the slide ends and deal with it. This is a time where you play preemptively, not doing things that get countered by what HoboNinja's representing. Positive on the board with that install. The big bonk. HoboNinja following up with the blue wild assault, but the dangers of being 2+. White managed to get the punish though. White wild assault. HeadChef. Throwing. With the OTG combined efforts from the malfunction error and a 5H. 3-point shot. It's the OTG. You've got to be careful in a clash situation. Potemkin could easily go for a Potemkin Buster. Oh my gosh, manages to block in time. HoboNinja. Well, this is dire for HeadChef. No burst. Oh, the reversal's out though. HoboNinja just scoops. Baits the gold burst. HeadChef is playing a valiant game here. What a RC, but mashes. When minus. Oh, but that's gonna close it out for HeadChef. What an exciting rally of attacks back and forth at the very end there. That's what we love to see in Guilty Gear. Potemkin's got multiple ways to create fire. Bedman has the fire ring follow-up on the Task B. Both of these characters can cook. And you know, if I'm up against someone named HeadChef, of course they can cook. HeadChef is cooking. They can turn things around. You know, that's a 3-course 5-star meal. Complete with a soup and salad. The big 6P. Into the scoop. The HeadChef playing more patient now. Not throwing out items. Haven't had a Faust in quite a while. Not throwing out projectiles recklessly for fear of flick. It's a Kara Buster. HoboNinja goes into the mirror. Great use of deflect. Great breathing room. Just eat up those mirror hits so HoboNinja can't follow up. But Potemkin with big anti-air normals like Far Slash and 5H. Install. HeadChef now the 3-point shot. Getting those plus frames. Installs out. HoboNinja slight resource advantage. It's not going to make a huge amount of difference. Now has enough to cancel. Again, the 5P. On set point now. The throw from HeadChef. Gives a chance to OTG. Task B. Uses the malfunction. Find the counter hit. That's huge. Fix H. For a wall break. Has a malfunction. On deck with the install powered up. That's a grip of damage. No way HoboNinja spends burst here. Perfect for HeadChef. After the kind of reviews we like to see. KG at round start. Ooh, okay, okay. The heat tackle would go through. Deadman's air game. It's very strong. Great patience with that burst. HoboNinja gets the positive. Finds the flick. Has the meter to make that dust save. Good 6P finding a gap in this pressure. Now it's HeadChef's turn to take the corner. Install. Goes over, but HoboNinja out of the corner. This could be huge. Go back to zoning. Which goes over. Oh my gosh, I couldn't quite tell what happened. Talking earlier about the visual noise, Delilah was in the way. HeadChef evening things up. Kidding, I'm on pins and needles over here. Waiting to see what's gonna happen in the third course of this match. This set, rather. Verse 3 incoming? Verse 3-0 incoming? Potentially. Don't want to jinx it. Remember, I'm supposed to be impartial here. I gotta knock on wood. Use the Wild Assault to go over the Shockwave. Very interesting. Creativity on the table. An amuse-bouche, if I can use a cooking term. HoboNinja finds the command grab. From downtown. Maybe tried to stuff the 2H. Not quite sure what button got used there. And over the 2P with the JS. HeadChef. That man loves these air options. They're very strong. HeadChef has a little more resources to work with. Goes for an air throw of their own. HoboNinja's been landing those left and right throughout the bracket. Now it's HeadChef's turn to take the head off that shrimp. On set point. Listen, I'm not calling HoboNinja a shrimp. I was trying to find some kind of cooking term that could work with the throw animation there. There's a task B, error pressure. Install. Back throw incident. We'll run out for that potential Potemkin Buster. The install does nothing for HeadChef there. HoboNinja manages to fight it out. HoboNinja with meter. Very tricky use of the... Ooh, the charge dust? We're at a double Luigi situation. The anti-air with the heat tackle stops the air. Finds the charge dust again. This is huge. HeadChef down to about 25% of their life, dropping rapidly under mirror pressure. The deflect works though. Delayed deflect. Check the throw. HoboNinja counter hit, spends their burst. Doesn't quite capitalize off the heat tackle counter hit. Oh my gosh. You know, if you're up against a grappler, you have to expect it at some point, you know? What an exciting match. I know some people have no sympathy for grapplers, but that was tight. That was sick. We are going to be moving on to winners finals right now. Stinky Steve versus Shadow Gecko. Winners finals. Stinky Steve. Okay. So I have a confession to make. This bracket is sort of been leading up to this match. I told Shadow Gecko yesterday, reached out to me after our match. They want more Anji practice. Said, you know, I run a weekly with an Anji player, an Anji regular who shows up. So if you want a little practice, you know, come through and you'll get your practice in. Good scoop. Remember the back throw incident. Remember the scooter is punishable on block with no yo-yo to back it up. He taking one down quite early. Doesn't have the meter to get a hard wall break. No Gecko spending meter. Just getting in and poking away. It's a dicey match. Oh, there it is. We were wondering. I said earlier, Shadow Gecko likes to use the Rock the Baby against Anji. Help me out, Roger. Gets the wall break. Good tech. As for the Midare, at certain ranges you can get a bigger punish on Bridget, but at longer ranges you gotta settle for Midare. It's good awareness for Stinky Steve to go straight for Midare. Again, a good tech. But shot down trying to the scoop out of the command grab? Oh, Steve! Making moves with the 100 meter. That was so sick. Okay, Shadow Gecko, maybe a little spooked, not showing it at all. Applying pressure is normal. Steve is handling this pretty well. Even if the damage lead is on Shadow Gecko's side right now, Anji's a big damage fella. Easily turn things around. It's what Stinky Steve brings to the table. Ooh! Wake up Gold Burst. Hits the reversal. That's the first one we saw all match. And you know what? Thinking back to my match with Shadow Gecko yesterday, I don't think I saw a single reversal from them. They definitely play it close to their chest. One moment, please. Back to the room. No, you see, actually, the canceling out of a counter like that just to get distance is totally viable. If you're outside of, like if Kai throws you and then goes for a charge stun edge, he'll be outside of the range of counter super. So if you have 100 meter, you counter super through the stun edge, and then you RC to get in range to get the counter hit on it. So there is method in the madness. It's not just cleaning up after yourself. There it is. Steve playing aware. Using more 6Ps. 6P, kind of the bane of Bridget in this matchup. Good use of staggering the pressure and varying what you're doing. Awareness, seeing the little extra hit that Steve can get in after Fujin. Enough to close things out. It's very curious how to play round start in this matchup. Bridget has the range to really stop Anji from playing a lot of stuff. Good check. Shadow Gecko playing aware of throws. Gets shot down with Ko. Big scary anti-air. Shadow Gecko with a bit of meter and more burst to work with. I heard the ping. Steve wanted the counter super, and it would be so funny if counter super could beat bursts, but unfortunately the game is not built like that. Good reversal of fortune from Shadow Gecko though. Steve with the hero burst. Ooh, manages to just figure things out with that RC on the throw into the 2S. Steve evening the odds. 1-1 now. Let's check what's happening and anything exciting happening in Discord. I'm getting pinged by my training partner. I tell you what, this person's real funny. Amazing Billy wants to play all hours a day, pings me constantly for games, and you know what? I appreciate it. Billy's great. If you're a frequent Solid Bones watcher, you've seen them around. Steve has the safe jump in the corner. Shadow Gecko. Hit the YRC, get countered. It's definitely a demoralizing situation to be put in. Steve. Again, the Nagi from downtown. It's definitely one of Steve's better qualities. Does a really good job with grab RC. Whenever I try to RC my grab, I'm always too late and I get counter hit before the RC even happens. I hate it. Just a little poking game from Shadow Gecko here. He's just to check the throw. Steve, very aware of throws. Oh, there it is. Shadow Gecko noticing the fuzzying going on. Just goes for a shimmy to beat it. It's like a good 30%, just that one combo there. That's the... Steve! You know, I respect it. Just a little shot. I wonder if that could have potentially been a spin. I always say one of Anji's weaknesses, one of Spin's weaknesses rather, is big normals that can snipe it from a long way away when they see it ending, and Bridget's got that in spades. Those are the wall slump, very nice. Shadow Gecko, knowledgeable gamer. Again, Steve has the tech down. Not getting thrown. RC tech. Hit with the Blue Wild Assault. Steve spends burst, but saw that coming. Shot down through the wall with that most vile of weapons. Bridget's behind. Shadow Gecko, 2-1 now. The only thing Steve needs to up his counter super ways is to back it up with Degenerate Abare. I can see it, I can see it. Goes for a super jump. You know, it can be easy to get hooked on the dash macro in this game, so just using regular jumps or super jumps, you know, it's good for repositioning. 6P? 6P is a little funky. Some stuff can work. And remember, I've said earlier, Steve really likes to quick RC, throw it a normal to collect a little extra meter, and still manage to capitalize off things. We saw that with that 2S just now. Just with a throw, finds it. I think he sees game, that one. You like every Viking player mashing 5p on Wake Up because of the threat of counter. You know, it's so true. Viking players did not pay $50 plus 20 for a season pass just to block. It's 6p from downtown. Remember, when Anji instant air dashes in with JH into close slash, there's a 2-frame gap there, so the close slash is a frame trap, but it can also be grabbed. We've yet to see any kind of representation of throw here from Shadow Gecko. That's gonna kill! White! It had the potential. Now Shadow Gecko, a great stall to bait out the 6p, applying pressure. One interaction on either side. It goes over Roger. Just gets chipped out. Shadow Gecko staying alive. Set point now. Haranagiha is a great method for approaching, but if it trades like that, it doesn't pay out. And from our game yesterday, Shadow Gecko plays around Haranagiha really well. But by the overhead, Bridget has a very difficult offense to deal with using fuzzies because of the overhead. It has variable hits. Closes it out with Rock the Baby. Shadow Gecko is moving to grand finals. 3-1 over Stinky Steve. Stinky Steve will be waiting in losers finals, but first we gotta figure out. Hang on a minute. Okay, there we go. My bracket didn't update. We gotta get C-Drive and HoboNinja in here next. A rematch from the first streamed match of this evening. They're two men, they're burly, they'll do what you want.
Mankind knew that they...
Duel 1. Let's rock!
Starting off pensively, HoboNinja. That's right, Slide Head does damage on knockdown now. It's the air scoop with the Heat Knuckle. Listen, we've been talking about how this game needs less damage for a while. If Counter Super's got to take a hit for that, you know, I respect it. It's the tumble with the Garuda. C-Drive not spending burst, probably in a situation where they don't want to. Oh, Ninja closing things out. It's an easy. BT from downtown. C-Drive taking advantage of those plus frames, now driving HoboNinja to the corner under drone pressure. Just a little flip with the 2K. Behind the back armor? The armored back shots? HoboNinja with the blue wild assault pressure. Oh, what a great RC! Stopping C-Drive from escaping the corner. And set up Garuda again. No, C-Drive spends. Ooh, he's scared of the reversal, as one should be! C-Drive too scared to reversal. Sees HoboNinja get the scoop. Listen, if Anji's counter super damage died, took Baikon's counter damage down with it, you know, it's a fair trade. Character made me so mad for so long. It still makes me mad to this day. I'm a hater. If I see Baikon on screen, I'm hating. Especially if I'm on the other side of the battle. 5H from downtown. Oof. It's just two big dudes slugging. You love to see it. That's what we like about Guilty Gear Strive. Uh-oh. You know, I see the vision, HoboNinja, but it didn't pay out. It's crossed up twice. Close things out after the laser. Ninja backing off, finding a good space to throw out those normals, but ET goes underneath the heat knuckle. C-Drive, taking HoboNinja to the wall. Sweeping the floor. That JP was definitely supposed to be a churn super. HoboNinja playing around reversal again. Oh, manages to catch the backdash. Ooh. Okay, there's the reversal. C-Drive, not opting to spend that second stock of meter. Doesn't even need it. 1-1 now. This big body brawl. This battle of the behemoths. This rematch of the Titans. Spacing outside of BT. Armor through the next one, does. Catching C-Drive for adjusting. Defense security. Maybe just to get a little bit of extra pressure. Gold burst. C-Drive. You know, I respect it, HoboNinja. C-Drive making great use of all the resources they have to continue this pressure. Meter, security gauge, what have you. Ninja. Listen, in my dream world, if Nero was in... It's a reversal. Okay, so my dream blueprint for Nero in a Marvel vs. Capcom game is he has a command grab that if it touches a projectile, he scoops it and stocks it for later, and then using the command grab outside of grab range, he'll throw the projectile. Back to reality. Through the wall for C-Drive. HoboNinja working with less resources, has burst. Oh no! HoboNinja finding a good healthy distance to stay away from that coffin and those BTs. And a great position to anti-air, get that wall break. Resources looking pretty even right now, but White Wild Assault is on the table for C-Drive. It's clipped by the cross-up, HoboNinja's meter for nothing. Dashes the scoop. C-Drive. Rare JH air-to-air. Scooped! C-Drive has meter to work with. We may see more reversals to play around. P into BT. I'm able to 6P that JD. It's a scary proposition as it is. And that's what leads to HoboNinja getting put through a wall. If you hear a little bit of corniness in the commentary, I've been rewatching old bits of Robot Wars, and Jonathan Pierce is definitely coming through in my commentary this evening, I've noticed. C-Drive up 2-1. HoboNinja has a lot to work through, finding great spacing for those normals. Beating the JD with the 5H, I've always talked about how Potemkin has great anti-air normals outside of just 6P. There with the 5H, it managed to clip the drone. Does it hit Gold Lewis? Crossed up, though, that's something HoboNinja has to work with. I wonder if HoboNinja took that drone intentionally to not have to deal with Gold Lewis pressure after the fact. Ooh. Forbidden grab setup. I have no idea how it works, so, you know, if you throw that at me in a match, I'm free. Backdash is the 6K. Then for the cross-up, C-Drive puts HoboNinja in the corner again. The air-to-air JD. C-Drive is on set point right now. Excuse me, C-Drive is not on set point right now, but is about to be. Ooh. Ah, thank you. JP overwrites Gigantor's block stun, so it allows the Buster. Jump blocking. Gotcha. Good attempt to deal with drone there, using the slide head as it moseys on over, as it grooves up slowly, and then flicking it back. Has the meter to close things out here. HoboNinja evens things up 2-2. It's a real contest now. 2-2 in losers, semis. Fuzzy jump after the JP. Gotcha, I appreciate it. I'll be slightly less free to Potemkin now. But, you know, if I go up against... gosh, I can't remember that player's name. They play in, I guess, names withheld to protect the innocent. Yep, that's what it'll be. Gold Lewis wins the air-to-air joust there and uses it. Put HoboNinja in the corner. Armors through. Good 2S to beat a button after the backdash. Great use of the armor on slide head as well to go through the drone and stop it. HoboNinja using all their tools really well. Goes for a delayed sweep. It goes over. C-Drive's making a little space. HoboNinja with... I see what you were doing. You were trying to PRC heavenly. Unfortunately, really active buttons can work against it. Armors through the BT. HoboNinja can turn things around, but it's gonna be spooky. C-Drive with the resource advantage. Makes it work. That point. Slightly more burst to work with. HoboNinja has ground to cover there. This spacing, this wiggling in neutral. Ooh. HoboNinja hit at the very end of the coffin. C-Drive with lots of security gauge and meter can keep this string going forever. HoboNinja's chances are looking dire. Has a deflect shield or wild assault and meter on deck, but it doesn't matter. Just counter hit. C-Drive 3-2. He'll be returning to the lobby now. HoboNinja out. C-Drive moving on. Great little set there. Say little, not to diminutize or anything. C-Drive will be moving on. Play against Sinky Steve. HoboNinja, thanks for coming in for the backfill this evening. I appreciate it. Go get your taxes done. Don't want to miss out on those. Potemkin may be a government official, but, you know, even he's got to pay taxes. Remember, Stinky Steve is the #1 seed this evening after Teddy dropped out due to sleep reasons. Gee, kind of creepy looking there.
Gold Lewis versus Angie.
Let's rock. Losers finals. Good whiff punish from Stinky Steve. Put by the JD while trying to find a good spacing. Not quite able to confirm. Does find good spacing as a result. Remember, Anji is one of the few characters who can get follow-up, meterless follow-up off of Dust. Has to use Butterfly for it, though. Steve, not quite able to get that happening. Grab Spinning Burst. Normally you'd think it may be a Hero's Burst, but Gold Lewis has big damage to work with. We may see big damage here. This is a gap C-Drive can easily cross. Did I say a gap that can easily be crossed? I mean a gap that can be easily crossed up with that JH. Ooh, okay, okay. Didn't quite get the pickup. A nice 5H starter from Stinky Steve. It's nice. Go straight into the 2S after that safe string under Butterfly. Has the meter to close things out. Will they spend? Nah, no need to spend it. Ooh, hit with a JD. Ooh. Just a little spin to throw off the scent. Not quite in range to punish the Midare after baiting it. It's one of the constant things you need to be aware of when it comes to playing with projectiles as Anji. Let it go! It has a big stocka meter. This is still a dangerous situation for Steve to be in. He churned it. It's a safe jump. You know, it was bold, Steve. JH, after a hard knockdown with the wall break like that, it beats 10-frame reversals, so... really delayed Wild Assault to beat the spin. I respect it. Remember that Fujin poor against air attacks. So, charging in recklessly with Fujin can get shot down by JD like that. This ain't me coaching, Steve. It's a statement of the facts and breaking down what happened. It's up to Steve to make the connection himself. C-Drive up 1. Interesting going for the sweep at round start. It's always very interesting to see how these two characters interact with each other. Steve working with a lot of staggered pressure, challenging the fan toss, C-Drive. Nice scoop. Remember, certain air moves are punishable on block. A throw. Good tech. Is that a fuzzy or a hard call-out? We'll have to see if C-Drive will test that after this moment of advantage where they get positive. Flipped with the 2K into the BT. C-Drive picks up a round to add on to their match from downtown. C-Drive playing patient. Gets a cross-up. Didn't quite get to convert. What a 6P. Brave 6P. Hell yeah, Steve is... Oh, what a counter. Steve is making some wild conversions this evening. He gets beat? No, I think maybe trying to Ko. Whew. scary thing to do, YRC, against drone pressure. We'll see if he recovers in time. Steve does. Gets crossed up. Just gets swept. Maybe looking out for a throw. C drive 2-0 right now in losers finals. One match away from moving up in the bracket for a chance to rematch against Shadow Gecko. Honestly, both these gamers, now that I think about it, would have a chance to rematch Shadow Gecko, huh? Just a step back bar slash. Great backdash on that overhead BT. Remember, Goldu's offense is fundamentally flawed. Just runs in, refuses to get hit by the drone, just spends burst. I respect it. Steve is very down on life, though. It's crossed up. C-drive on set point. A real long held spin. Drive has the corner. You know, Anji sticks his hurtbox out so far when he uses far slash. That's why he gets thrown a lot when using it. I've hardly had anything to say this whole set. This whole match, rather. Just more of the same we've seen from Gold Lewis. Playing clean. Fortunately, Steve loses the chance to get first in WeebCup. Have to settle for third. C-Drive moves on to fight Shadow Gecko in Grand Finals. You know, sometimes a bad day is just a day that's bad. That's all I can say when it comes to how to deal with a bad round where nothing goes right. Don't beat yourself up over it, just learn from it and take that to the lab. Shadow Gecko has entered the venue. Sneaky Steve has exited the room. There are only 2 gamers left this evening, both in the room and in this bracket. Ooh, Dizzy? Alright, alright. I know Last Claire has been talking up Dizzy lately, been saying she's not as bad as everybody says. And honestly, when I saw what I was up against last night when I played Shadow Gecko, I went in fully expecting Dizzy.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
But no, I got the brisket. 5H, a key move from Dizzy, very active, 18 frames. It's the Wings of Light setup. We'll have to look out for burst or errant pokes. It's the trade on the Mikhail's sword. Remember, that's how it's pronounced. T-Drive, leery of a reversal. Oh, Gecko. It's scooped. Dizzy has big guts, so won't get killed by that OTG. Now has a chance to really use Wings of Light. C-Drive's in a pickle here. Will they spend burst just to deal with Wings of Light? Not quite able to make things work with Wings of Light. Forced to use zoning. Shadow Gecko takes it, but not within coming within an inch of their life. Dashes out of BT range with a big 5H poke. We're seeing cross-ups. You know, if nobody else got my back, I know the fish got my back. Anji players and Dizzy players alike. Kindred spirits, rather. See, this is the tricky thing with Wings of... Oh. I think Does Wings of Light come back, or did that activate immediately? I'm not 100% sure how the move works. A good BRC back. Great defensive technique. Just out of range of BT. Great use. Faultless defense to create space with this character. Shadow Gecko knows what they're doing. Dizzy may be top 1. We have to see. I'm trying to remember, was it, I think it was Margarita who really tried to get Dizzy to work when, on release week, because as you know, if you know Margarita is constantly going through a character crisis. Settled on Sin now, won the last monthly as a result. Shadow Gecko. Forced out of Wings of Light. Listen, the loop needed to be nerfed. That was not a fun, the counterplay for it was not fun. It needed to be nerfed. He drives with a significant life lead now. Using a lot of jumping. Amazingly, yeah, the Sin loop. The Fruit Loops. This kid wants the Fruit Loops. Hello, Gecko. Spending a lot of resources to get things going with this Wings of Light. Just backdashes. Throw attempts. C-Drive. Making it happen. Oh, excuse me. I didn't update the scoreboard here. My apologies. C-Drive. Has the corner now. Shadow Gecko. Low on resources to deal with this. Has some options, but with C-Drives, access to 50 meter, I'd be scared to commit to something as well. 1-1 now. Remember, C-Drive, having come here from the loser's side of the bracket, has to reset before they can start moving towards victory. One now. In Grand Finals. Quick sweep. That ice able to convert into combos from very long range. Shadow Gecko. Creating a zoning game. 5H to push him out. Follow it with the Kale Sword. Go for a grab. The drive has burst. Probably won't spend it at this juncture of the game. No need to go into Wings of Light with Dizzy. Oh, Gecko. Exactly halfway to victory at this time. Needs one more round and one more match. Pick throw. Get the fish. Now we see C-Drive spin burst. Just a little bit. I respect it. Use a little bit of the gun to make him scared, then a big bit of gun to actually do the damage once they've been disarmed. Mentally, obviously. Wings of Light may close things out here if C-Drive... No, not even. Just gets the cross-up. Shadow Gecko. 2-1 now. In Grand Finals, one match away from tournament total victory. Let's see, what's C-Drive gonna bring to the table? For a second there, I saw, because it was taking a minute, I was wondering if we'd see Bedman. I say every time, I feel like, I hope against hope that we see Bedman, because I got so excited when it happened the one time. Nope, it's Gold Lewis against Dizzy in the finals. So with the far slash. So Gecko. Playing the zoning game, but gets clipped from downtown. Scoop. C-Drive with full security gauge. To turn any of these BTs into a deadly block strength. They're in range, right? Yeah, they're in range. It's got bigger range than it looks. Drive on the way to a comeback, perhaps. Shadow Gecko has very little meter to work with to fuel those Wings of Light, but maybe making it work in a moment here. Throw Tech gets rid of Wings of Light? This character cannot catch a break, huh? Casual little 60%. And that's C Drive. 2-2 now. C Drive will want to keep this pace to turn it into a Grand Finals reset. Yeah, I gotta say, this is like absolutely a crazy final set for the bracket this evening. Gold Lewis versus Dizzy is definitely not something I'd expect to see. Gecko creating space, using that 5H to poke. Wings of Light on the table. C-Drive could burst. Let's turn them off. Yep. Big air poke from Shadow Gecko. We see Wings of Light set up now. No, another throw. Into the normal, no relation. Spends the meter, will be able to close things out here on tournament point. Shadow Gecko with Queen Dizzy. Just backing off the 5H. You know, if it worked the last round, keep it simple. Don't fix what's not broken. Blue Wild Assault, set up the wings. Good throw from C-Drive. Not the biggest punish, but does manage to find little damage after baiting that throw. It's clipped. Turns the Wings of Light off. I don't know if they would be a huge factor at this point in the game. C-Drive, the satellite's down. Big counter hit. Oh my gosh. This could turn around in an instant. Oh my gosh, it's gonna turn around in an instant. A double Luigi situation with tournament point or a reset on the line. C-Drive. 18 from downtown. Shadow Gecko under pressure. Okay, fighting back now. Playing the zoning game, but the laser's up. What happened? She got OTG'd? That was so weird. She got bounced back, and then the laser bounced her. These little shenanigans could be what Shadow Gecko needs, unless C-Drive can close it out with this meter. Spins burst! C-Drive! Three to two. Finds the reset. You know, it was a valiant effort, and I respect it. And you're welcome to keep playing your play however you want, but I respect the Dizzy effort. All right, looks like Brisket's back on the menu, everybody. Grand Finals Rev 2. Shadow Gecko swapping back to Bridget. Okay, we're good. Little stride. Remember, this was a 3-1 or a 3-0 on Shadow Gecko's side. Let me see here. Yeah, this is a 3-0 for Shadow Gecko back when these two played in Winners Round 2. So we'll have to see. C-Drive has something to prove. Good job getting over the minigun. HeadChef with meter. Ooh, gets hit from downtown. Gets hit from uptown. Bending burst. A hero's burst if we've ever seen one. I'm not sure what HeadChef's trying to do. I'm not sure what the Roger drop was all about. Oh, the minigun. Woo. Two similar looking arcs those attacks traveled in. Jumps over the throw. Again, this has been HeadChef's MO for most of the bracket. Find a good spacing to hang out outside the opponent's attack range, then whiff punish with a 5H. C-Drive will get clipped. Good cross up. Doesn't immediately make things turn around, but does find the opportunity. C-Drive. Big steppy to close it out. Puts a match on the board for C-Drive. HeadChef, who has been looking quite dominant up to this point, now shows a crack in the armor. Can C-Drive break it? Honestly, if any move is going to break through a little crack in some armor, it's going to be Behemoth Typhoon, so... HeadChef has looked so strong throughout this whole bracket. We may see Bridget on top yet. Quite in range. Use of the scoot. Good whip punish again. HeadChef wants to do that. The JD from downtown. Woo! Good block on both overheads, but gets clipped by a fourth Behemoth Typhoon that has hit the tower. Cross up. C-Drive take another round, precisely halfway to victory. In this grand finals reset now. What's the 2K? Remember, scoot can be plus, depending on the spacing and speed. Just jumped over the drone. The stim attack, JD. Sends the meter. You want to maintain a healthy distance from BT. No, go straight in. Wild Assault to close in. Has the meter to 6P. With a perfect. Wow, impressive. That match went on for so long, I guess I didn't realize Bridget didn't get hit at all. HeadChef is finding this nice spacing now. That JD from downtown, it's been so good at just collecting these hits from impossible angles. That's a Bridget combo right there. Bunch of hits. Remember, whenever Bridget spends the RC like that, it throws off the timing of the yo-yo just a little bit, so you gotta be very careful to keep the strings tight. HeadChef was working with so much life a second ago, and now it's just gone! Oh my gosh, it's all gone! C-Drive. 2-0 now. Looking to make a comeback. Oops. Knocked over my chapstick. Don't mind that. My lips are getting dry, getting anxious watching this. As we move into potentially tournament point for C-Drive. Let's rock. The big man running at you, I would burst on the first hit too. HeadChef finding that downtown counter hit with punish with the 5H. Now it's 2S's turn. CS pressure. It's 2 hits. right back off to find a great spacing where you can poke or anti-air as you please. Shadow Gecko has a life lead right now, down on resources, but that it's changing after that Wild Assault. Nice BRC! Is that a backdash? Went quite high up. Doesn't quite confirm. Does get the dust to finish. Nothing like a little tap dust to catch your opponent sleeping. 2H this time. Doesn't let the big man run. Great mix-up. Shadow Gecko. In the wall break. Look at that. How far that pushed out. That 2H. All the way to the corner. This is Shadow Gecko's game to lose. Full up on life and meter. Again, that 2H to take C-Drive to the corner. The White Wild Assault, though, breaks through C-Drive. Help me out, Roger. Men's YRC. We won't see any kind of satellite laser comeback scam like we saw previously. Especially not with that back throw incident. Shadow Gecko on the board. All this yapping's making me thirsty. Alright. This is still C-Drive's favor right now. It's gonna be spooky. Trying to make the comeback. With the big man who does so much damage. Shadow Gecko. Starting off with a little 5P vibe check. Blue Wild Assault. Manages to clean a little bit of burst out of C-Drive's gauge. And any kind of escape. Shadow Gecko is just controlling the flow of this match super well, not allowing C-Drive get any kind of movement in. Goes out with a perfect. Shadow Gecko precisely halfway to victory now. A round and a match under their belt. C-Drive just needs 2 rounds. After the backdash with a close slash. The big 268 BT to get uppies into the wall. Closes it out with the BT. 1 round from victory. C-Drive tournament point. Just checks the White Wild Assault with a 5P. Draining C-Drive's burst. That's crucial at this point in the game. Big close slash counter hit. Help me out, Roger. C-Drive working about 20% of their life left. Again, nice backdash. Finding that spacing to just whip punish. Shadow Gecko making great use of their pokes to just push themselves out, and Blue Wild Assault to close in where necessary. 2 perfect, one after the other. Not exactly one after the other. 1, then a loss, then 1. 2-2. It's getting spicy. That's why I keep this little jar of Tabasco by my computer. Ooh, just need a little pick-me-up when I get congested from talking so much. I did not drink the Tabasco, don't worry. Not that spicy. Yet. Let's rock. Grand Finals, Rev 2. 2 characters who could not be more opposite each other in health, specs, all their stuff. Meter already, okay. Shadow Gecko managed to take a big, maybe 55-60% chunk out of C-Drive's health with no attempt to burst. Back throw incident, finds a gap. 6P, Shadow Gecko. Bending meter. C-Drive surely wouldn't burst behind the back. But no look, walk the dog. Ooh. That churn evened things up in a big way. Just a JP, maybe checking someone who would be waiting to scout for Roger. There's the 2H. And paying dividends for Shadow Gecko. Tournament point for Shadow Gecko. But by the JD. Just out of range. Great 5H. From downtown to BT. More BT pressure. This is a good range to poke though. Shadow Gecko finds it. They're flying out. Great use of Roger to stall in the air, not get 6P'd. We saw Gold Lewis's ghostly hand of the 6P down there at the bottom of the screen. Finds the counter hit. A drop, perhaps? Help me out, Roger. Maybe 10% of their life left. C-Drive, looking down. Has half a gauge of burst left, as well as their meter. I can hardly catch my breath between all these interactions. C-Drive pushed out. White Wild Assault from downtown. Shadow Gecko, not using reversal to fight their way out, will suffer for it. Through the wall. Double Luigi. On Grand Finals reset. Taking care to get out of range of JD. Shadow Gecko is poking. Confirming. Rolling in. Great confirm. Has a setup for the corner. Gets shot down by the JD while rolling. Spends their meter. The yo-yo set. Under pressure. C-Drive can reversal. Or use the laser, but no, Shadow Gecko's moving in to stop that. See? We saw the laser animation. This is great spacing. C-Drive. Ooh. Finds their way in with a couple BTs. Ooh. Just goes over. Oh my gosh, could be over with one more hit. C-Drive has meter. Shadow Gecko blocking for their life. Getting chipped. The risk is cranked. It's over. C-Drive. 3-2 in a double Luigi situation. A hard-fought, hard-earned, well-won victory for C-Drive. Shadow Gecko's first showing at WeebCup, getting a great run, making it all the way to Grand Finals, getting second, having a terribly exciting final match there. Whew. Thank you for showing up, Shadow Gecko. It has been a privilege and a pleasure to have you here. Bringing out the Dizzy. But C-Drive, hard fought, well won, taking it in the end. And that's going to do it for WeebCup 193. I want to thank everybody who showed up this evening. I want to thank everybody who slept through the check-in this evening. And I want to thank all y'all who showed up in the chat to drop some knowledge on me. I will keep the fuzzy jump after JP to beat the deflector Potemkin Buster setup in mind. I'll lab it out. And now that's going to do it. I gotta find somewhere to send y'all this evening. Steve. Don't you go changing, Steve. Shine on you, Crazy Diamond. Where are we gonna go this evening? Who's streaming? Almaza. Aragon. Ooh, beginner bracket about nothing is doing their beginner bracket this evening. So I think I'll send y'all over to there. HeadChef has let me know about that in the past, so I will send y'all over. What do we got? Bonehaver versus Ace, Abba versus Johnny. I'm gonna send y'all over. The raid has started. Once again, thanks for coming through. You know anybody who's looking to play games on a Tuesday evening, send them on over to WeebCup. I'll put up a new bracket sign-up link at some point soon. In the meantime, take care, everybody.